Growing your website to 10,000 page views per month is the first real sign that you're probably doing something right when it comes to your website. It validates you, it makes you feel as though the niche that you've selected has been the right one, and more than anything else, it makes those hundreds and hundreds of hours it's taken to get your website to that point worthwhile. Now with this guy managing to be able to hit 10,000 page views per month, I thought I'd go into a little bit more detail about my top 3 tips that have helped me hit 10,000 page views per month. Let's jump into it. Branch out in more than one item. Oh dear, the microphone's dropped down my top. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, this is actually a mistake that I made with my very first website, and that website has still yet to hit 10,000 page views a month. Just goes to show how much of a failure that website is really, isn't it? It can be very easy when starting a website to choose a niche that has really massive high ticket priced items. For example, fridges, which can sometimes retail for $200 all the way up to, I don't know, $500. Speaking of which, if you're spending $500 on a fridge, look at you big, rich, money bag guy, you. Now sadly doing this, i.e. sticking to one product set, one niche, all those different kinds of things, is gonna vastly limit the number of posts that you're able to write with. Instead then, one of the things that has massively helped me is just to target a wider niche with more topics to go after. For example, let's say you set up a niche website talking all about fridges, using the example we just made, and the keyword that you went after was how much does a 2-door fridge weigh? No idea if that's a good keyword to go after or not, but let's just use it as an example. Let's say then that this post ends up taking off and manages to bring you 1,000 page views per month from this individual post. Because your website is so focused on fridges, there isn't really gonna be any wiggle room in order to kind of grow on that individual search query. Instead, however, if you started maybe a general kitchen niche website, for example, other similar keywords you could go after would include things like how much does a washing machine weigh, how much does a dishwasher weigh, all the different brands and variations on all those different keywords there, giving you a much greater chance of ranking for those keywords. Take the time to do keyword research. I know what you're thinking, no sugar, honey, iced tea, Sherlock. Thank you, Google AdSense, for that. Of course, learning keyword research is important to getting your site to 10,000 page views per month. The truth, sadly, however, is that a lot of us, myself included, underestimate just how important this is in terms of getting the keyword research and search analysis right. When we first start out with our websites, then using expensive tools like Ahrefs are completely out of the question. I mean, it's not realistic to spend hundreds of dollars every single month on something that hasn't really proved itself, in my opinion. More often than not then, learning this skill and really getting to grips with what a good keyword looks like is one of the most valuable skills that we need to grow our websites. Now, searching the YouTube space, there are probably thousands of different videos teaching you very, very different techniques from each other to find these valuable keywords to go after. Now, the keyword research method that I like to use is basically Income School's keyword research method. Not gonna pretend like it's my own, but the general method of it is finding questions that people are asking on Google, trying to write content that will rank for those questions, but also targeting those keywords that aren't too competitive. As such, look for posts that have a lot of forums in the search results, blogs from smaller bloggers that you might not have heard of, all those different kinds of ones when you're first starting out your website. I would then use Google Trends to generally get an idea of traffic levels. No search analysis method is able to give you any accurate estimations as to search traffic, but Google Trends is an okay method of doing that. Now, to give you an example of what some good search terms look like, this took me a while to do, so hopefully you guys appreciate it, but I found a couple of decent ones. The first one would be, do E36 coilovers fit an E30? It's a good term that you could probably rank for with a lot of forums on the first page. However, looking over Google Trends, we can see there isn't very much data on this topic at all, which means instead of getting thousands of page views every month, probably getting anywhere from 10 to 500. Now, another keyword that might actually be a good one to go after if you have a skiing or a snowboarding website would be the term, how much do snowboards weigh? Now, while the search terms are a lot more competitive, there aren't that many forums in these search results, and there are some well-known blogs in there, meaning you will have to write longer, more in-depth content in order to rank. Looking over the Google Trends data, we can see there's a lot of interest throughout the year, meaning that traffic impressions should be quite high on this individual keyword. Again, this kind of advice is all over YouTube, all over the web, so it's nothing unique and nothing different. But one of the things I will say is that you really have to be patient when it comes to finding these keywords. This isn't me judging you or anything like that, because Lord knows I've made the exact same mistakes as you. But one of the things I will say is often people give up after searching 10 to 20 terms and they can't find anything to go after. Just recently, actually, I came up with a batch of fresh keyword research and I went through around about 100 terms And of those 100, I managed to find around about 7 that I'm actually going to write content for. So just goes to show the numbers that you probably should be looking at. Do your own research. The final thing that's managed to get me to 10,000 page views per month, aside from sitting in a very echoey room with a beautiful teal background, hope you guys like that, has just been finding original research and putting that on my posts. A lot of us, myself included once again with this, think the content on the website is very good. After all, if someone's asking a question like, I don't know, how big is the lens cap on a Sony a6400, and we say, I don't know, 3 or 4 centimeters, answers the question, right? What's wrong with that? Well, the truth of the matter is, let's say we write that post that says that this is only 3 to 4 centimeters long, and I don't know, another blog there which is much more authoritative, has thousands of links on it, or worse yet, Sony themselves actually have this information readily available on the website. Sorry to break it to you, but there's literally 0 chance you're ranking for that keyword. General rule then is, if you're answering the same question in the exact same way as a more authoritative website, the authoritative website will always win because there's nothing to differentiate you guys apart from each other. Thankfully, however, there are a couple of ways to get around this. To give you an example, let's use the term, how much does loft insulation cost? Again, no idea about the competitiveness of this one, but let's just use it as an example. Instead of just saying something like loft insulation costs $10 per square meter, let's add some original research to really make sure that we have the best post on the web. Some ideas here would be things like calling up 20 different retailers and generating costs in that particular way and putting that all in a nice table. Do the exact same thing for the most expensive loft insulation versus the least expensive loft insulation. Survey people via Facebook, YouTube, Twitter polls just to get some anecdotal information about what people are currently paying and what a good price would be for loft insulation. Search Amazon, eBay, and general websites that readily have that price information available, and again, put that into a table there as well. You can also make the information even more presentable by putting together things like infographics, which you can readily make on Canva as well. If you think about it then, let's say if you were to use all that information in your post versus someone who's maybe just written 500 words, just giving you a general cost of loft insulation, Google will see your website hopefully as much more authoritative because you backed up all the information, where you've got that information from, and actually reached out to experts in your industry there as well. Now, going to this level of research and this level of depth won't be necessary for every single post. It will be though for some of those more competitive ones. What I will say is that a good rule of thumb is just to make the content a lot longer as well. If your competitor has a 1,000 word post, aim for yours to be about 1,500 to 2,000 words. You'll cram a lot more quality information in there as well. You also want to take your time with these posts, and generally speaking, for my posts on my website, they take anywhere from 4 to 6 hours to write one post, and sometimes they're not even long posts there as well, so gives you an idea about what you should be looking for. Blogging family, look at this interaction. It feels a bit disorientating, right? Absolutely, leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on how you're planning to get your website to 10,000 page views per month, or if you have reached 10,000 page views per month, how the heck did you do it? Help out the community down below. As always, if you're interested in more videos around business, side hustles, personal development, messy, horrible rooms that are still kind of getting to grips with things, absolutely smash the like and subscribe button, as it really does help out the channel. And until the next one, I'll leave you to it. All the best for now, gang. Bye.